Hiya, kids. Are you ready for some family-friendly entertainment? I am Flesh Wound Dan, joined by producer Todd.
Good evening, kiddos. I can't even do it, Dan. This is
Hello, children.
you're the person to keep away from the kids. No, Uncle Dan.
We are here for the first time in a while for a new episode of Flesh Wound Juniors, a Halloween edition of Flesh Wound Juniors. So yes, it's still a thing. May have been gone for a while, but it's back. I don't remember the last one we did. I'm going to be honest. Like, I'm trying to remember, but it's been well over a year, right?
It's probably been about a year.
Maybe.
We normally do one at Halloween because there's normally a new Scooby-Doo we normally check out. But our last one this year was, let me just double check. Yeah, we didn't have one last year. Our last one would have been our Trick or Treat Scooby-Doo and Hocus Pocus 2. So.
Oh, okay. So, all right. It has been a minute. I think they're doing Hocus Pocus 3. So, at some point you'll get another one. Hopefully we'll do them a little bit more often. It's
No, I really don't want to do children's fair with you, Dan. You don't know how to observe. You don't know how to look at something as a children's movie on a lot of cases.
I have been very wholesome tonight. Thank you very much. I did not see our first movie. I didn't get to make it out to it.
I know you tried the least hard you could to.
I saw a lot of movies. I did not make it to Scarygirl.
On a scale of 1 to 10, how hard did you try, Dan?
I tried. I couldn't double it up with anything.
You tried 0. Don't even lie. You won't even give a number to commit.
I was watching like movies about cults and slashers and all. I just wasn't able to work in Scarygirl. But I did get to work in our second film tonight. So there's only one solo, which once again, Scarygirl. And if you're unfamiliar, this is in theaters.
Right now.
It is in theaters right now,
right
here
now.
in the US. I believe it. I believe this is an odd one because I'm pretty sure it was overseas a little bit ago, but it's just coming here to the US this month, and from director Ricard Cuso and Tanaya Vincent. And in this film, as her world is shrouded in darkness, a young girl must overcome her fears and travel to a mysterious city of light, save her dad and save her dad from a dangerous scientist and prevent the destruction of her planet. So as far as the voice cast goes, I know Sam Neill is one of the major characters as Dr. Maybe. And Todd, let us know about this one. Was it worth it? What did you think? The animation looks interesting.
Yeah, this is one of those, like, it kind of like looks like it wants to be kind of like something like
Pixar.
No. I see. I think the animation looks closer to like a combination of Pixar and I forget the Lanky. What is the one who did Coraline and Paranorman? I forget. I know it starts with an L, and I forget the name of this studio. It's something like a Lang.
Well, either way, look like that.
It has a look like that, but a little more digital. So Pixar. This is actually on an Australian film. It actually came out last October there. I thought it was fine. I mean, for children's fare. I mean, the message is, obviously just be yourself. I mean, the story is basically like, it's kind of actually a little dark when I'm going to spell it out. It's like they're trying to, like, the bad guys in it are trying to get, like, there's a reason we're trying to figure out throughout the story why they want tentacles and octopuses. It's basically something with the magical property of this octopus that, like, basically our Sam Neill, our scientist, is trying to bring his daughter back, and like through the magic of the octopus. So it's like the son or the daughter, a Scarygirl, and the octopus, his daughter. So like the whole story is like him trying to get to her. There's more to it. I don't want to give everything away, but it's fine. I thought it definitely doesn't feel American, and maybe that's what um was different about it. But it kind of did remind me about another movie about a year ago, which is probably why they hold off on the release. That Kraken movie that I want to say it was DreamWorks did, which was another girl and the sea story, which I do think might have been a little bit better movie, but this one I think I don't know something about it not being American made it a little. I paid attention a little more. If I was going to put it closer to something else, like to recommend, like if you have kids, if they like Ugly Dolls, I think Ugly Dolls is another one with a similar kind of feel to it.
I've
So
heard of that.
yeah, yeah. But it does have a good message. So I think overall, you know, it's tolerable for the adults and the kids should like it. So I say it's worth checking out. I don't think you have to rush out to the theaters to see it, but like Dan said, the animation does look cool. So yeah, if you want to check it out in theaters, you want something spooky to take the kids, this is fine. It's nothing offensive. I think you can do worse. If you have, little older kids, we'll talk about a different movie in a minute. But so I think it's worth checking out. It's honestly, it's probably going to be forgettable for me and shortly. I think if it was in 3D, I probably would have remembered it. But
Not American sounds like a good thing.
yeah, it is. Yeah, I think you might like it a little more. I mean, I don't think you're going to love it, but I think it'll be more tolerable for you than a lot of other stuff. But I mean, it's squeaky clean, so the message is and stuff like that. So
Would you say it would make a good double feature with since it involves tentacles and that kind of stuff with the 1981 Sam Neill movie Possession?
I would say probably not. Well, maybe it can be a warm up. You can show them this one that now, and then the other one in like a decade, Dan.
There you go. There you go. That would be the way. I'm just gonna say, just sit down, Possession 81 and Scarygirl. Good messages, very good messages. Possession's a good coming of age movie for sure. Yeah, but
All right.
Sam Neill. Now I just want the Sam Neill tentacle movie. I want Dr. Grant in a tentacle movie.
Okay. So
did you rate this?
No, I was just about to. I'm going to give this one a 3. Like for family, I'm kind of averaging out for different reasons, but I'm a 3 because I do think it's a little bit. I'm not saying this is going to be like Pixar level, like going to make you bawl in the theater, or it's not Inside Out 2 or anything like that. It is, for children first, I think, but it is like I said, it's worth watching. I give it a 3. I think your kids will have a good time with it. If you want something new for the season, it is a good pick.
Yeah, so there you go. So also in theaters right now for the spooky season, we have Monster Summer from director David Henry. And in this film, when a mysterious force begins to disrupt their big summer fun, Noah and his friends team up with the ostracized and retired police detective to embark on a monstrous adventure to save their island. All right, so this takes place in 1997 in Martha's Vineyard, which I thought was kind of a cool setting. And probably the biggest selling point for us is that it stars Mel Gibson as the kind of town pariah. His son disappeared under mysterious circumstances, and some people, the rumor mill was that he had something to do with it. So he's kind of like this mysterious figure, doesn't really
it's
talk
funny
to the locals much. And you know what it reminded me of before? Another movie that he did, and it's not one that people talk about. I shouldn't say in tone because this one's a more serious drama, but the setup is very much like Man Without a Face.
I'll have to rewatch that one. I haven't seen that one in quite a while.
The book, I believe, is better. It's actually a much darker story, but it's a good movie. Nick Stahl, I think, was the kid in that one.
It sounds right.
Yeah. But
Um,
what did you think, Todd? I'll tag you in first.
well, I was gonna say it's funny because you bring up Mel Gibson being the big selling point. I see for a lot of people, it's the selling point is actually Patrick Renna, the kid from The Sandlot.
Sandlot, yeah, and he plays an umpire.
Yeah. So I thought it's because it's for me, like I am like that Sandlot skips me because
Yeah, yeah, you would, yeah,
yeah I
you would have
was
been a little old for that.
yeah I was. So that's the thing. So like I know the kid from that and other stuff, but I mean I don't have that like ooh it's the kid from The Sandlot that I grew up watching because I did. I think I've seen that movie once. So which is a good candidate for juniors in the future.
Sure.
Like I said, I've seen it once. Um,
He was also in Dark Ride, a slasher movie.
yeah, no, like I said, I know he's very recognizable. So
Yeah,
I mean, I know him from other stuff, but I know people were excited because I know there's a whole generation, the millennials, like your generation, love that movie.
they do. They do.
So
I
I get it.
Yeah, it's a good movie. I was never like obsessed with it like a lot of people, but it is a good movie. This has a very good cast. I mean, Lorraine Bracco
Yeah.
is in this. It's a mystery. Um, Kind of strange. Kevin James is in this, and they didn't advertise him at all. And if I'm not mistaken, and obviously I saw it in the theater, so I can't rewind, but I did not see him listed in the cast. Period. At
Oh,
least in the credits.
I
Uh,
didn't notice him either. So it may have been a favor. He may have been, not getting,
yeah,
SAG. He may just took SAG. So that's
it's
probably
not
what
a
it is.
cameo. I mean, it's not a
It's not.
huge role, but he's in it, which I was like, wow, that's interesting.
To tell you something, the fact that it wasn't like in his credits on IMDb, it doesn't even have his character name. So that tells me he wasn't credited.
That's pretty cool. He's good in it. He's kind of the newspaper. He runs the local newspaper in Martha's Vineyard, and this movie, basically, children are essentially being just taken, but like mind fried, pretty much. It's like their essence is being stolen. Our lead character, played by Mason Thames, he plays
From
Noah.
Black
He
Phone.
he's trying to prove that there's a monster that's behind all of this. So it's very much a mystery. Now, if you're expecting something, Goosebumps, where it's just like a bunch of creatures all over the place, it's not that kind of movie. This felt very much like something that I would have seen as a kid in the 90s, and I
This
like that.
this feels like closer, and I know I saw it a few years back. There was that Nancy Drew movie that with the chick from It.
Yeah.
It kind of has a similar feel to that. Like it's kind of like just a spooky movie. Like it's
Yeah.
it's not. Yeah, I get what you're
It
saying.
it's not goofy. I mean, there's some comedy in there. And I think Mel Gibson, as always, is fantastic. This isn't one of the direct to VOD specials where he's maybe in it for 10 minutes. He's featured in the movies, and at this point, getting to see anything out of Mel Gibson is kind of a treat because he's, one of the last of the movie megastars, in my opinion. Fantastic actor, fantastic comedic actor too. He doesn't get enough credit for that.
Oh yeah.
And likable character.
I think everyone. Well, our two leads. I mean, his friends kind of can be a couple of jerks in the movie for a minute, but it's all like for the story. I get it, but I was
They
like,
weren't annoying. That's another
no,
thing.
they
Like,
weren't.
it's set in the
They were
90s.
being bad friends a couple times. I was like, all right, yes, it was August 30th, 1997.
Humor him, and I thought it had a nice mystery to it. You won't necessarily guess, who done it. But it also, it was something that I think adults can enjoy, because it is PG-13. So, there's
That's why I
some,
said for your younger juniors.
yeah, there's no like blood or gore or sex or anything like that. But there are some scares.
There's some suspense.
Yeah, there's
there
some
is.
suspense. Like this is the type of thing where I think this is a pretty good gateway horror movie for kids because
I do.
there's
I don't see like why the PG-13.
I think maybe just a little bit at the end with some of the violence with I don't want to reveal the monster, what exactly it is and what's
I know
going
I'm trying
on.
not to.
But yeah, there's a little bit of violence there, maybe that pushes it over to that. We are going to have a brief spoiler segment on this, very brief, because I just want to say there
Good to
is
know.
something that I never thought I needed to see in a movie that it only kind of sort of gives us. And I will reveal that in the spoiler section. Because if done full on, this movie would probably be getting a 5, and I would suggest it go to the Library of Congress and be preserved forever. But yeah, no, it's got just the right mix of heart, supernatural shenanigans. It's not CG heavy. It's something that I think your kids will really genuinely enjoy. I may not have the best. I may not be the best person to ask what modern kids are going to be into, but take them to something that's a little bit spooky. I think this is just the right level. I don't think this is going to traumatize anybody. If it is, there's probably not much hope for that kid to be a horror kid.
This is like the 4th year in a row, and I kind of like that we've done this. We keep getting these like little spooky, like not really like because this year we have this. Last year we had that R.L. Stine Zombie Town, not the greatest, but they tried to do something in this. And the year before that we had Spirit Halloween movie.
Yeah,
and
I like
before
that
was the Nancy Drew. So even if they haven't all been hitting, I like that we're still getting this kind of like picture. And I don't think we would have 6 years ago. I think they're smaller. They're not taking too big of risks. But these are like the kind of movies like as a kid that like I'd fall in love with because it's like kids doing this kind of stuff.
Yeah, just going out on an adventure. Yeah, yeah.
And I it's funny because I know some people look, oh, well, it's kind of creepy. He's just running off with Mel Gibson. But that was the world we lived in back in the 90s. We were just off doing our own things.
Do you think it's at a point where something like this, it has to be a period piece? Because kids don't do anything anymore. Some of them don't even trick or treat, even ones that are very much at the age that they should be out trick or treating. They just sit and play on their phones. Like, I don't know.
Does it have to be period piece?
I think it almost has to now.
I think for this story, and I like the fact that we don't make it a big deal. It's a period piece. We just move in and go.
Yeah. Unless it's like a haunted house kind of angle, because those little bastards are just on their phones in the house. Like nothing's going to get them out in the woods because they're not going outside. So it's like, I don't know. I think it's got to be 90s now.
Get off Dan's lawn. Kids, go do something. Exactly. Get off your phones.
There was a neighbor kid, side rant, but that we were decorating.
Don't hate on children on Junior Show, please.
I'm not hating. Mm-hmm. I think it's sad. But we were putting up, we got a really cool display this year, and the family walking by complimented decorations. It's awesome. And I think my mom was like, oh, yeah, come by when you're trick-or-treating. And this kid, 9, I would say, maybe 10, not much older than that. It's like, oh, yeah, I'm not going trick-or-treating this year. I'm thinking, like, what? At least till you're 12, you go trick-or-treating. What's going on? I'm not talking to them, but I'm thinking in my head, just like, what the hell?
Well, you'll be happy to know my child just picked out his Halloween costume today. So
good. Encourage that. Encourage it.
He wants his candy. He knows the game.
Exactly. Don't buy them any candy if they're not going trick-or-treating.
No, you bring me the candy at the end of the night. What are you talking about?
Now, again, I'm not suggesting you just send them out on their own. I get it. Modern world, I understand. If I had kids, I would definitely be there to.
The modern world's even easier. We got all this technology to monitor them. Then they just stuck us out. Come back with your bag of candy. Give me all this.
Maybe drones solve this. Like you can just fly like a
That's just
drone.
lazy parenting. I'm just gonna send the drone to chase the kid. Just be a normal lazy parent, drive him house to house.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. Hit as many neighborhoods as you can.
And stop at trunk or treat and get all the candy and then keep going. See,
Yeah.
that's how you do it.
In addition,
I am in addition. That's because if
hit
you
'em
were
all.
a kid, Dave, I know you're anti trunk or treat, but you got to hit that, like, because that's basically one spot you could go and get like a ton of candy, then move on.
I'm good with it. But back to Monster Summer. Also, Lorraine Bracco. I don't know if I mentioned her yet. She is in this. Also very good.
I was very surprised. I was like, oh, cool.
It's set in 1997, and it feels like it would have been made around that time. It really does have that 90s vibe, and it has just like I said, just that little bit of edge. That's the only thing that seems to be missing from a lot of the modern kid stuff. So I like this one a lot. Is it one that people are going to be watching every Halloween? I don't know. There is potential for more with this. I mean, you could revisit this universe and tell more stories. The only thing that I could see some people criticizing it for is it is a monster, and I could see some people wanting like a bunch of like creatures and stuff floating around.
It's not called Monsters Summer. It's called Monster Summer.
Exactly. Go support it. Maybe it'll make some money and you'll get plural monsters in the next one. But I enjoyed it a lot.
I thought the Monster Summer was referring to Mel Gibson.
There you go. Yeah, you never know. I was really impressed that he had some good screen time, and
it's good to see Mel being Mel.
I hope he can do, now that he's like at the tail end of his career, that he can do different stuff. Take some chances, do some weird genre type stuff now, and yeah. I always thought he'd make a good Batman back in the day. Never got the Mel Gibson Batman. You can't see it?
I want to see it now, but I don't.
I mean, Michael Keaton wasn't exactly somebody that I know back in the 80s. Yeah, there was a lot of people like Mr. Mom Batman.
No, I remember.
Yeah. So I don't know. I think Mel Gibson might have
And
been.
You know what? Good. Mr. Mom killed that.
What do you rate Monster Summer, Todd?
I'm a 3.5. I had a good time. I can see myself revisiting this one annually. It is a good, just fun afternoon picture.
I agree. I'm 3.5 as well. I think double it up with the Spirit Halloween movie.
I do think that's a really good double, and that one I do watch annually. So,
yeah, so 3.5, good rating, I think, for this one. Check it out. Again, smaller film, so support it. Hopefully, it can make some noise. My theater was actually half full, which for what I went was pretty impressive. So maybe Mel's still got some pull. On that note, all right, so we're not going to have a long spoiler section or anything, but I just wanted to say, so when it's revealed that Patrick Renna, or Sandlot Kid, as Todd likes to say, was the witch in the movie, and there was that showdown at the end with the kids and, of course, Mel Gibson. So technically, we get a Mel Gibson Sandlot Kid battle, I guess, but we don't. How awesome would it have been if you just had Mel Gibson with the Sandlot Kid in like a guillotine, like choking him out, like just a full-on fight scene? Like he's got a baseball bat and he's like going like full like Lethal Weapon on his ass. Like that would have been awesome. And we did not get it, and I'm a little disappointed. We get, the witch, which is him. So technically, I guess it's not him in the makeup, but you know what I mean? Like I just wanted to see Mel Gibson choke out the Sandlot Kid in a movie, and we didn't get it. But that's my side rant, Todd. That's all I got. It's the on-screen fight scene I never thought I got, and we should have. But
yeah,
all the spoilers I got. All right. So, guys, thank you. Enjoy your trick or treat, enjoy your trunk or treat, and all the Halloween festivities. Go out to the pumpkin patch, do all that good stuff, because that's childhood memories that you'll have forever. And yeah, just Halloween's a sacred time. Treat it as such. And on that note, good night.
Happy Halloween. Good night.